Welcome back to the urban farmyard where this city girl goes country. In today's video we're meeting Trixie, a little rescued cat who is largely blind. Let's go take a look. Hi guys, well I wanted to introduce you to a gorgeous little kitten today. Her name is Trixie and she was rescued by an incredibly kind lady named Monique. Now Trixie was born in Auckland, which is New Zealand's biggest city, and Trixie clearly does not want to be held for the duration of this video. Trixie was born to a cat who was left behind when her family moved. Unfortunately they hadn't had her desexed and she ended up falling pregnant and had at least 2 litters of kittens that we are aware of. We ended up taking in mum and both litters of kittens, and we've been working with them to rehabilitate them and get them sufficiently used to people that they can be adopted. Unfortunately, the younger of the 2 litters had extremely severe cat flu when they came in, and Trixie's was so severe that one of her eyes had bulged out, the corneal layer had burst, and she was very clearly blind in one eye. Her other eye was also showing signs of deterioration. It had formed a bubble in the outer layer and it was threatening to burst, so we got Trixie in to see an eye specialist as quickly as we could. The eye specialist basically gave us a number of options. One was to euthanize. Now that was by far the cheapest option, but we do operate a no-kill policy here, so it's not an option that we were prepared to take without trying to save her first. The second was to remove her eyes, which again we considered to be quite a drastic measure, and so we decided in the end that we would treat her quite aggressively with medication first, give her an opportunity to recover and see how much sight she had once we were done. That process has worked incredibly well for Trixie. What we've seen is with a combination of antibiotics, a topical eye ointment, anti-inflammatories and painkillers, we have actually managed to save both her eyes, and we can see that she does have some vision. Definitely not enough vision to be allowed outside in the wonderful world where there are things like cars and roads, but definitely well enough for her to live a very happy indoor life. We can see from Trixie's photos that she does only have partial sight in both eyes. You can see that because there's a distinct cloudiness right over both eyes. However, the size of each eye has returned to normal, and from what we can see, the corneal layer has started to repair itself, which is a really good result. It reassures me that our decision not to remove her eyes and not to euthanize her was absolutely the right one. Living with a partially sighted cat has been a really interesting process, as we've seen how Trixie has learned to navigate the world. We find that she is very receptive to the difference between light and dark, and she definitely follows things like shiny objects. It seems that she can pick up the reflection in things and she tends to chase them. She's also very good at following moving objects when there's a sufficient difference between the colour of the object and its environment. So she does play really happily with little balls on the floor, so long as the ball is a sufficiently bright colour that it stands out from the concrete floor. Her other senses have also developed significantly. She has a very keen sense of smell and she has a very keen sense of hearing. She is always one of the first to appear when she smells that food is around. One of the things that she's not quite so good with though is the other cats. Because she's only partially sighted, we find that they tend to creep up on her and she becomes startled when she suddenly realizes that they are beside her. But what she is comfortable with, interestingly, is the dogs. She smooches around them and in many ways they guide her through the house. I quite often find her sleeping with them and following them around. We do still have a little bit of discharge from both of Trixie's eyes. Now, whether that's a side effect of the damage that was done to her eyes as a result of cat flu, or whether it's a lagging effect of the cat flu itself, we're not 100% sure. But we're just treating that topically and we're wiping her eyes for her several times a day. All in all though, she is a happy little bean and I am so glad that we saved her. I hope today's been interesting and I'll see you back here tomorrow.